Welcome to episode 2 of the Forty20 Almost Daily Rugby League World Cup podcast. My name's Richard Shorewhite, and on Monday we made the trip to Manchester because it was the launch of the 2021 edition of the Rugby League World Cup, the 16th staging of this global sporting event, which has had many different formats and distances between tournaments over the years. It's never really been steady, but hopefully that will be something that happens in the future. What was steady yesterday was a torrent of visitors to Zone 10 in the media centre in Manchester, because we had, well, an opportunity to speak to many and various of the great and good in the world of rugby league. So much so, we're going to have to split this up over 2 podcasts. Basically, myself, Phil Kaplan and John Davidson all crowded around to speak to a load of people. And let's start with the Tongans, because they're very popular. Anytime you put something Tongan up on YouTube, it gets loads of views. So I'll split them between 2 podcasts, see if that works. We'll hear from their coach Christian Wolf on the next episode. But first, here is their co-captain, and I've checked on Wikipedia to see how you pronounce this. Sio Siua Taukeiaho, and I'm sure I pronounced that wrong, so apologies for that. But here is the Tongan co-captain speaking to us ahead of the Rugby League World Cup 2021. Tonga, one of the favourites for the World Cup. Is that the kind of pressure you're going to enjoy playing under?
I guess it's always good to have pressure. It gives us something to challenge ourselves. We're here to win. It's pretty simple for us. So it all starts next week against PNG. At the moment we had a good warm-up game against a good trial game against France. We had a good win. We've still got a lot to improve. So we're excited for the tournament.
2017, probably you guys came from nowhere. No one expected. 2019, you did it again. Is it different now because everyone's kind of knows how good Tonga is and the players that you've got, the talent?
Yeah, it's a lot different now. We've got a lot of young boys coming, young, talented, quick, strong players, and they're coming into the squad. So it makes it a lot more competitive for us as well. But it's interesting as well. So it's something that we're all excited. So we're pushing with and pick the strong squad to come in and represent our little nation. So we're all excited.
I mean, if you guys can do much similar and make the final or win the whole thing, you're going to get knighted or a kingdom or...
I know.
You and Jason, yeah, you can be princes.
I think Jason will, not me. So
you're captain, you're co-captain.
Jason gets everything back in Tonga. So that's the main goal, is to go all the way, make it to the finals, and hopefully win it. We've set that. That's why we try to have games, mid-year games, is to build our combination of all our players, and it's to build for this World Cup.
So you can have some success again. I mean, you see what it means to the Tonga people.
Yeah.
The fans are absolutely unbelievable.
Our fans loves it. People back in Tonga, they didn't have much, but when we went back to Tonga after that 2017, they just provided so much food for us, so much food. And like I said before, they don't have much, but it's them showing their love and the support for us. And all we do is try to play good footy and give back to them.
It's going to be slightly different over here, because clearly in 2017 you had the sea of red behind you. Might be a little bit different here. How will you cope with something like that?
Look, with us, we still, I think just being together as one, we still have that. We've got a strong culture in our squad. We're used to playing with so much fans. I packed our stadium, all red flags in and around, so I don't think we'll see much of those flags here. But like I said, we've got each other, we've got a strong culture, and all we do is just continue to get ready for next week.
Can you imagine when that original gang of 5 decided that they were going to play for their nation and heritage, that it would take off in the way that it has?
Sorry?
That it would take off in the way that it has?
Yeah. I think it already has. We've already got more players than that they have origin back in Australia. There's some players that they don't want to play origin, they want to play for Tonga. So that means, it shows how much they want to put this jersey on and how much they want to represent their family and people back in Tonga. So all we're doing now is just building for the next generation, and it starts with this World Cup.
And the great thing,
as I said, the World Cup is the pinnacle, but would you like to see the return of tours? Would you be happy coming back over here, maybe 3 test matches against England for a winter tour?
Yeah, well, mate, like if we can get as much games for Tonga, it just makes our team a lot better. You know, if we can get as much game against England, Australia, New Zealand, all these Tier 1 teams, it just gives us more opportunity to build on our combination, build on our confidence. So we've had so many games now against Australia and New Zealand, and hopefully we can test ourselves here at this World Cup.
The great thing is, of course, if England happen not to make it to the final, you're guaranteed if you're playing Australia or whoever, there will be plenty of red shirts and flags there. You'll get the home nation behind you. That's a good one.
If we make it to the finals, I'll probably guarantee you guys will have so much Tongans flying over from New Zealand and Australia here. They're so passionate, and they'll fly from the other side of the world just to come watch us. And that's something that we're all excited for, so hopefully we can make it all the way.
Will you use the motivation of 2017 and the slight feeling of injustice in that semi-final, or has that not been mentioned?
Look, we know what we've done in 2017. It's always just a stepping stone, always to see where we were at, and we made it all the way to the semi-finals and just lost to England. Now we're here, we get another opportunity at the World Cup, and now we want to go all the way.
Papua New Guinea, the most passionate rugby league nation on earth. How much are you looking forward to this World Cup kicking off in a few days' time?
For us, we're really excited. Obviously, last year we couldn't be a part of it, but we've got a good squad, a good bunch of local boys that we picked. Really looking forward to it.
Well, what are the hopes for the top? How far are you hoping to go?
We reached the quarterfinals the last World Cup, so we want to do better. And when you hit semi-finals, anything can happen. So we really hopeful to even make the finals.
Rhyse, you obviously know all about Leeds. You're all about this country. Are you kind of the ambassador for the players who've never been here before?
Look, I'm just trying to tip them up on a few things about what it can be like in the next couple of weeks, especially leading towards the back end of the round games. I think in 2 or 3 weeks' time, the weather can change quite quick. It could be quite wet and cold, so just for them to be ready for that. But for me, I just want to enjoy this camp, enjoy being around some teammates I haven't seen for a long time, and enjoy meeting some new players that have earned their spot in the Commonwealth side.
How important has the PNG Hunters been in giving you a better resource for players that are playing at a higher level?
For me, since they've come in, I debuted for the Commonwealth in 2014, and that was their inaugural year when the Hunters first come in. And ever since they've been in the competition, the Commonwealths and the PNG players have just been developing and getting better and better every year. And I think now from the Hunters you'll see more Papua New Guinea players spread out across all codes, all leagues around the world, and that's because of what they're doing at the Hunters. And our national teams are reaping the benefits for it now. And I was talking to Coach Stan in the car on the way here, and we've got a lot of exciting young players coming through that are going to be a part of this hopefully in the future. So what the Hunters are doing is massive, because they find players like Justin Olam that are in Papua New Guinea that possibly wouldn't have been found a few years ago. So it's been great for the local players in PNG.
And we've heard stories of what it means back home. We haven't been fortunate enough to go over there, but presumably when you left, the fact that the Orchids are playing and you're playing as well, that the local public will be clamouring to find any television set they can, any radio they can, that this is a time where the nation all comes together?
Yeah, the sport unites the whole country. Actually, before we headed over to England, we did a 5 days camp back in PNG to connect with everyone back home, and just a way of them sending us and wishing us all the best. So that was quite important, especially for some of the boys that have never been back home since they were young. So look, they're really mad, and we just want to do them proud and do all our family members proud.
Tonga first up, probably the most difficult game in the group, but would you want it that way to test yourselves?
We think it's probably the best way to start. It puts us right up where we want to be, and it'll test us and see where we're at in this competition. So I'm confident that we can shake the tree a little bit, and people might not expect it, but we'll come out firing. This Commonwealth team is, we could show. What am I trying to say? Blow a few minds with what we achieve in this competition. So yeah, I think we might do really, really well. But yeah, get through that first game and we'll see where we're at.
One of the things you might achieve is a world goal kicking record during this tournament.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting. That's a possibility. It'll help if the boys score under the post.
I thought you were having the word.
But I'm not far off. But if we're scoring tries and I'm kicking the goals and they're going through, that's all that matters at the end of the day.
You might end up facing England in the quarterfinals. Obviously, you guys knocked off GB a couple of years ago, which was massive. I mean, how nice would it be coming up against the hosts again and potentially doing the same for Papua New Guinea?
Yeah, I was part of that as an assistant coach, and I think that they're all learning experiences, I think. And if we do hit that again, and we'll be better off it. I think that experience is probably will do us more better this time round.
I think on that too, we faced them in 2017 in the quarter-final, and I think we were a bit, we weren't not confident, but we weren't sure what to expect, and from that game we definitely learned a lot, and it gave us the confidence after that we know that we can compete. And then that GB game, playing them at home on our soil was a big positive for us in that game. And, playing them here is obviously their home turf, their crowd advantage, and everything's against us with that. But if we get to play them in a quarter-final, we'll definitely be better for it.
Beating Fiji in the mid-season test as well, that surprised a few people, I think, from the outside. But does that tell us where you are?
No, we've beaten Fiji plenty of times in that test. Yeah, we've beaten them more times than they beat us. So,
but it was an impressive performance.
It was an impressive performance. I think Coach Stan, that probably the way that game started and the way that first 20 minutes, anyone would have probably thought that it would have ended up Fiji blowing the score out and them running away with a win. But what Stan's brought into the team at the moment. Our kind of DNA and what we're going to pride ourselves on is working hard for each other, and that's what they did in that game, and that's where we come over the top.
Papua New Guinea head coach Stanley Tepend and the captain, Leeds Rhinos star Rhyse Martin there, speaking ahead of their match against Tonga. That kicks off on Tuesday night, the 18th of October, I should say, at the Totally Wicked Stadium in St Helens. That's in Group D. Also in Group D, we'll see Wales in action. They kick off their tournament next Wednesday against the Cook Islands, and we caught up with their captain Elliot Kear on Monday in Manchester. Elliot, the World Cup is coming. How proud are you to be captaining the nation?
Extremely proud, yeah. Pinnacle of my career to captain Wales in a World Cup. To captain your country on the highest stage, it's a great honour, one I'm thankful for from John. I just can't wait to lead these boys out.
And you've got three extremely tough fixtures, Cook Islands, Papua New Guinea and Tonga. It's going to be a great test for the nation.
Yeah, it is. And I think we've got to focus on ourselves a little bit, but we know we're under no illusions how tough this group's going to be. But if I know that we can play the kind of brand of rugby that we want to play and improve on some of the areas that we kind of identified in the Lebanon game, then we want to be as competitive as possible.
John just mentioned 12 of the squad are Welsh born and bred. How important is that in terms of growing the game going forward?
Yeah, it's massive. And I know when I started playing, to the amount of rugby league being played in schools and grassroots to what is now is tenfold. So the game's growing in Wales, and you can kind of see that from the Welsh squad. So we take great pride in having 13 Welsh-born lads in the team. It's a great thing.
You've got a number of young players as well that you're bringing through. Does that make the role of captain even more important, do you think?
Yeah, it's funny because sometimes I don't see myself as a senior guy, but now being 33, you fall into that role when you come to a certain age. But yeah, we've got a really good bunch of boys and a good culture, and we've built a good environment. So it's easy to kind of police. Not that there has to be any policing done, but yeah, you've got some young players like Lewis Roberts, and he's some great young talent coming through. And it's good to be their captain, and you know, if they need help anywhere, you know, we give it.
You mentioned the physical side of things. You're playing 3 Pacific nations who are all probably physically bigger than you are. Does that mean that recuperation is solely ice baths?
Yeah, so it's going to be ice baths. So what else is there? The ice chamber. Yeah.
How do you prepare for something like that? Because it's not like you're playing one nation that is physically going to be looking to batter you. You're playing 3 on the bounce.
Yeah. Like I said, I think you take each game as it comes, and teams, you know, that are going to be physical in some areas are going to be weaker in others. So, you know, you just got to play to your own strengths and try and identify, you know, where these teams are going to be weak and, you know, go at that.
You've got a core of experienced guys that have played together for Wales for quite a long time. How important is that going to be in terms of game management?
It's massive, really. We had a lot of lads play together this year at Bradford. You know, I've played with Rhys Williams for the last 10, 12 years now with Wales. So there's a good familiarity in the squad. So we know how each other play. And like you said, it can only be a positive for us because we played for so long together.
Now, all eyes on Saturday, of course, will be on St James's Park in Newcastle after the opening ceremony and all the ballyhoo and such is over. It's all about the 80 minutes between England and Samoa. Now, this must be the first time in history where the bookies haven't had England as the favourites to win this particular fixture. It's a pick'em at the time of recording. Can Samoa cause a upset to those outside the Rugby League bubble? Let's hear how excited their coach Matt Parish is ahead of that World Cup opener.
Opening the World Cup against England on Saturday, how much are you looking forward to that one?
Oh, it's a massive honour, and we can't wait. We understand the enormity of the challenge, but we're certainly looking forward to it. And to play at St James Park in front of which hopefully will be a sellout crowd, will be a great occasion.
Everyone has been talking about Tonga. Now they're talking about Samoa, and you guys haven't played a game yet. I mean, that's got to be exciting, but also added pressure in a way as well.
I'm not sure. I don't read too much of that, but look, it's exciting with the squad we've got.
Yeah.
And to be compared to Tonga is certainly very humbling. They've been marvellous, and they've been the leaders in the Pacific. So to be compared to theirs, they've done a great job. So it's humbling, but we've got some work to do yet.
What have you been saying to the guys that you've managed to attract to play for Samoa? Because clearly the pool of talent you've got for this World Cup is probably the greatest you've ever had.
I think that they realise that too. They can see that a lot of them are young and they're exciting young players, and the chance to represent their family and their heritage is, it doesn't happen a lot. And the World Cup's only come around every 4 years, and we've got this group at this stage of their careers. It's very exciting. We've got, I'm excited to be working with a talented bunch of young guys.
You've been with Samoa a long time. I remember in Darwin after the quarterfinal, you were pretty gutted. Obviously, that was a disappointing World Cup for Samoa. How far, quarterfinal, semi-final, win the whole thing? How far can you go?
I think we'll get better as the tournament goes on. I wouldn't.
You've got some real characters as well in your team. How are you going to manage them?
Who are they?
Well, I suspect the Penrith crew probably are coming over here and will want to enjoy themselves.
I'd be disappointed if they didn't. And I think we all want to enjoy ourselves. But we've got a few characters in the team. They bring plenty of energy, as do a few other guys, members of our squad. But it's exciting, and a lot of our guys haven't been here before, and so it's certainly a new experience to see this part of the world, and it's exciting for them. And it's exciting to be part of the first game where it's going to be sold out and playing the host.
And the cultural side of things, because again that's been mentioned before, that you need to have that attachment back to the island. What kind of things are you doing different this time?
That's a very important part of what we do. We've got plenty. That's a lot of the reason why a lot of these guys play for Samoa. It's part of the cultural thing. We've got Forty20 who drives that for us, and amongst other things. And we've got 3 guys from the islands that are part of the Rugby League Samoa board. You had an harvest ceremony last night, which is a very cultural ceremony. So there's plenty of that happening.
And are you pleased to be back? Can you remember your time over here? It might not have gone quite exactly as you wanted, but you enjoyed it, I think, when you were here.
I do. I certainly enjoy the UK. Hindsight's a wonderful thing, and if I had my time again, I'd probably do things a little bit different. But I've got plenty of friends here, and I certainly love being here.
Greece, Jordan. What are we, the general public at large, going to expect to see from Greece in this World Cup?
Hopefully a few surprises, to be brutally honest. We're really excited to go up against some of the best teams in the world, and for us, we're not just here to participate. We want to really challenge ourselves and our position. So I think a few people are going to be pleasantly surprised by what we turn up in 7 days' time.
I mean, literally, rugby league was banned in Greece, and now you're playing in a World Cup. It's a fair journey.
Yeah, it's a crazy story, isn't it? So for us, we want to kind of remove that victim mentality, and we really want to put our best foot forward. And we've got a great mix of local domestic players and players that are playing professional and up and coming in the NRL. So we've got a phenomenal mix of experience and skill and talent and enthusiasm. So we can't wait to put that to the test.
When you see what Italy have done and Lebanon have done, is that sort of the blueprint, I guess, for Greece?
Yeah, look, we probably haven't looked so much into that, but we're really excited to see what Greece can do, and we're certainly confident in our ability, and we're realists and we know who we're up against, but if you ask any person here, they want to go up against the best teams in the world, and we're no different.
I think you've got the most domestic players than any squad in the World Cup. I think you stopped off in Athens on the way over here as well. How's that bonding and gelling starting to work?
Yeah, for sure. Look, we wanted to make sure that our DNA was super pure, and by having 7 or 8 domestic boys is something that we certainly thought was really important for the growth of rugby league in our country. And in terms of stopping off, we've had some players that haven't been to Greece before, so for them to find out where their grandparents were brought up is something that's really important, because when you ask them to put their body on the line in 7 days' time, you want to know who you're representing, and that's something that we aim to do every tour.
And you need to get a good meal before you came, because every picture I saw of you was tables laden with food.
Too right, yeah, probably too much, to be honest, but yeah, no, it's certainly great for the taste buds.
What's the connection for you? Is it parents? Is it grandparents?
Yeah, so my grandparents, both of them, my Yarnpapa and my mum's side, they relocated and fled the war many years ago now. So my mum's full Greek, and I'm half Greek, and I had a strong Greek presence growing up. And here's the reason why it's such an important moment for myself as much as it is for the team.
You've stayed away from soccer and kind of rugby league.
Yeah, look, we don't have a lot of soccer in Wellington, New Zealand, so to be honest, we don't have a lot of rugby league either, but everyone wants to be an All Black, and I achieved the next best thing, which is putting on a Greek jersey.
In terms of players like Lachlan Ilias, you haven't really had the ability to call in somebody as high profile as that who can take a team around the park. So is he going to be the key man we should look out for, do you think?
Yeah, look, he's certainly going to add a lot to us. Lockie's a great young kid, and he's got the world in front of him, but we've also got 3 or 4 boys that are just starting their NRL journeys that are similar. So for us, we feel like we've got a lot of talent in our squad, and talent that's going to challenge a few teams and hopefully make for a real spectacle over the next few weeks.
Looking forward to taking on the host nation at Bramall Lane?
Yeah, definitely. I'm probably thinking France first, but look, when and if that time comes will be something to behold, and I'm hearing that it's close to a sellout or close enough, so we encourage as many people with 1% Greek background to come and put on a blue jersey and really get behind us.
There's a great restaurant in Charavel and Eki Road in Sheffield, so you've got to get there. Have you been able to spend the city much?
Yeah,
Lead Mill?
Not a whole heap. The first night we kind of loosened the shackles a little bit. We've only been here for a couple of days, but yeah, for us it's been business for the first few days, but no doubt we'll enjoy ourselves as we go.
Have you been to the UK before, or is it the first?
Yeah, I actually lived in the UK for 2 years, playing for the mighty Newcastle Thunder, and I absolutely love my time here, so it's great to be playing in a World Cup and back on soil that I certainly cherish.
That's the captain of Greece, Jordan Meads, another one of the teams in the group of blue. Not the official colours of International Rugby League or the Rugby League World Cup, just the colours of all their kits. Now England have switched colours. Greece, Samoa, France and England in Pool A of the World Cup. Right, let's switch our attentions to Lebanon and hear from Parramatta Eels halfback and the captain of the national side, Mitchell Moses.
Mitchell, welcome to the country. How are you feeling ahead of the World Cup?
Very good, very excited to be representing Lebanon. Did it last World Cup and got so much out of it, and we've got a really young squad, so anything that I can teach these boys and lead them on to the next World Cup, we'll definitely do.
How important is it to represent your heritage in a competition like this?
Yeah, it's massive, especially that Lebanon's been going through a tough time back at home. So if we can put some smiles on some faces back at home in Lebanon, will mean a lot to us, and I know that they'll get a lot out of it. So it means a lot to represent our heritage, and very excited.
Tough games coming up, but what are you looking forward to the most? Obviously New Zealand is quite a tough one.
Yeah, very tough game, but we're going to try to do a job on them. They're a great side. They've got quality players across the park, but we've also got quality players. We've got some really good outside backs, and like I said, a very young squad. So hopefully we can learn a lot of lessons in this game and leading into the Jamaica and Ireland game.
Who should we? Oh, sorry.
Since the last World Cup, you guys were amazing. You pushed Tonga all the way. Can you do the same or go better?
We got a lot out of the last World Cup. There's still about 5 or 6 players still from that World Cup side in this side. So we took a lot out of that. So anything that we can teach these younger boys coming through, we'll do that. But it's a tough test, our first game against New Zealand. But hopefully we can turn up and give them a go.
What's it like having Michael Checker now? Because obviously he's raised everything. He's got that link back to the homeland. Very, very passionate about what you're going to bring to the sport. How's it been having him in your corner?
Yeah, he's a very passionate man. I had a couple of conversations with him, about 2 years ago when leading into the last year's World Cup that obviously didn't go, didn't get going. So it's been a big build up for this World Cup. So see how passionate he was the first time I met him. It's something that I wanted to jump at straight away and play for Lebanon. He made me want to chuck the jersey on straight away when I was having a chat to him. So he's a very passionate man, and I think he's been great for the young kids in our squad, just to teach them about the heritage of Lebanon and what it means to put on the Lebanon jersey. And like I said, we've got a few players that played in the last World Cup, so they've shared some stories as well. And just very excited for what's to come.
And the cultural side of things is very important to you. I know that you've got a really passionate band of supporters over here that are going to follow you. How are you going to play into that?
Yeah, hopefully we can get a few people coming out and supporting us. It'll be really good. I know last World Cup we had a massive following, and it was such a great experience. So if we can get similar like over here, it'll be outstanding. And just something that, like I said, we've got a really young squad, so anything that those boys can take out of this World Cup will be massive. And if we have a big supporter base here, it'll help us a long way.
I remember Michael back in the Waratahs, he had the driver in the dressing room with the boys. Are you expecting something similar?
I'm not sure. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Wasn't too much of that in the warm-up game, but we'll have to see game one.
Expectation would be to make the quarterfinals. That will give you a ticket to France as well in 2025. Realistic?
We're not really looking too far ahead like that. We got New Zealand the first game, so it'll be a big test for us. We just got to turn up. We've got to turn up. We've got to compete better than everyone else in that New Zealand side. And I think if we can compete on everything, we'll give ourselves a good chance to beat them. They're a quality side, 1 to 17, and we've got some good players in our team as well. So it's a World Cup. Anything can happen. If you're playing good on your day, anything can happen. So hopefully we can shock them.
The grand final was a tough day. They obviously been put that to bed. Is that?
Yeah. Still hurts a bit now that you've brought it up. Thanks to that.
So I'm a Manly fan.
No, that's okay. But I took a lot out of it. Definitely learned a lot of lessons. So hopefully I can bring that in here.
Yeah, this is obviously a tough period for you. Missed your baby, daughter's birth, and you lost a grandparent as well. So it's been a crazy couple of weeks.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's been a very crazy couple of weeks. So obviously everything that's happened is happens for a reason, and obviously would have rathered last week's game to go different and be on the other side, but that's how it happened. So I've come here, freshened up, ready to go, and I want to prove a point, I guess.
Playing over here, another new experience for you. Looking forward to that?
Yeah, I've never been to the UK, so never experienced the type of footy that you can play here and the grounds and things like that. So just getting used to it. So hopefully we get a good week of training under my belt here, and flying to New Zealand.
Lebanon kick off their World Cup campaign on Sunday against the 2008 World Champions New Zealand. We'll hear from both coaches in that match on our next podcast. Also on Sunday, and our final guest for this one, let's hear from one of our favourite guests on the podcast. Remember back in 2019, a long time ago now, England Knights faced Jamaica at Headingley, and after that match, Romeo Monteith joined us in the studio for a couple of hours, and it was a fascinating couple of hours. Now, we couldn't have 2 hours with him yesterday, otherwise we'd have been told off by the World Cup organisers. But ahead of their opening match against Ireland, their first ever World Cup match, Romeo spoke to us.
Romeo, welcome back to England. It seems a long time since you were last here when we were above a bookshop in Leeds. What's it like to be back ahead of Jamaica's first ever World Cup?
Yeah, I'm happy to be here finally. We've been waiting for a long time, so it's good to be here. This is the week of the tournament officially, and it's a fantastic feeling being here with the boys and just watching all the love pouring out from home, and just wishing the boys good luck. It's a bit cold, but I have my layers, so I'm ready. I'm kind of ready, I think.
I want to ask about the captain, because you seem very cool, but he's Ashton Gold's a very hyperactive young man. How did you come to that decision?
Ash is Ash, right? That's what we love about Ash. That energy, that's what you see on the field. That's what you see off field. And it's just great having him around since he joined this team back in 2017 for the France tour. He's just been a real blessing to this team. He's captaining us for this tournament as well. So, that leadership from him, obviously his experience, his love, his passion, it's really good. Joe Brown, big up and respect to Joe Brown. He's been the captain for the last, probably from 2016, really taking us forward. So it's just good to be around all these guys. We have Marvin Thompson from Jamaica. When we were playing that side of the world, he's normally captain of the team. He was able to play against Cumbria on Saturday, his first time playing in these conditions in England. So it's just been good getting everyone together.
You've obviously been involved with Rugby League in Jamaica for so long. How does it feel now? You've come so far just to you're at your first World Cup. You're only days away from first game ever.
Yeah, I definitely feel blessed, to be honest. I feel purpose fulfilled, to a large extent. The dream has been a long dream, and at times, we just weren't sure that I would see it in my own lifetime. Because the sport is so competitive, even as small as the Americas region is, when Jamaica, USA, Canada goes up against each other, you don't know what's going to happen. In the past, even with more semi-professional players than the USA, we were beaten. So to be honest, getting here, it's just a real fantastic feeling. I'm so happy. I'm happy for not only our nation, but our people all over the world. I'm happy for the boys and their families just being able to experience this, because for a nation like Jamaica, this is the first, but you don't know if it's your last either, because as I'm saying, the sport is so competitive at a certain level. It's good to be here, and just looking forward to the next few weeks, and maybe a few more weeks if we get to the quarterfinals. And I'm just happy and hope that we do the best that we can. And effort is all we ask for from the boys. Lots of challenges getting here, lots of injuries in the last 3 to 4 months. Players who we were looking at having in this team, Jordan Turner, Lewis Johnson, all these guys, Lloyd White, John Margaret, all injured, all out. Of course, everyone knows that Dom Young would have, declared for Jamaica last year, at the World Cup last year. Dom probably would have played for us, and we all know Dom is playing for England this year. So it's a different squad than what I probably anticipated 3 months ago, but it's a good squad. All the boys are happy that they've been given a chance. I have 6 domestic produced players in the squad, so that's a big thing for us. I always tell people that this is Team Jamaica, so like in England, people wouldn't really know the domestic boys when they play against USA or Canada or so on. But this is a team that always features players from the island when it is possible. If it's not possible and we're playing in England and we don't have the funds to get players across, it's going to be an all UK based squad. Similarly, when we're playing in Jamaica or the USA, if we do have the money, it will be an all domestic based squad. But it's one big squad. It's a large family. Like we have every year probably 70 to 80 players to choose from. So that's what we're about. We're here to do the best we can, and I'm just looking forward to our first game on Saturday against Ireland.
I mean, 5 years ago, everyone was talking about the Tongan fans. I think this World Cup it'll be the Jamaican fans, making the most noise, bringing the atmosphere that everyone loves.
Yeah, I'm hoping there'll be a few steel pans and pot covers knocking the stadium for sure. But yeah, it's a bit different, Rugby league, obviously in Australia, in terms of the Tongan community, I think rugby, is like their national sport. Rugby union is big, rugby league is big. There's the influence of NRL with all their sons and playing in that. For us, obviously, we don't have a similar thing. In England, rugby league, I don't think there's a whole lot of Caribbean people who follow the sport. So I'm not sure what the crowd is going to be like. 2019, when I was here and played England Knights, I was really surprised and happy. There was a lot of Caribbean people there cheering and for the first time. And so I'm hoping that we'll see that this Saturday in Leeds. I hear that there's also a big Irish population in Leeds. So I'm hoping it's going to be a great mixture of people coming together to celebrate a sport that we all love. And hopefully we can win over a few new couple thousand, not 100 fans to the game.
You memorably said when we last spoke to you that you hope that one of the legacies back home would be maybe you get a facility that your rugby league could call its own. Have you noticed the difference now you have qualified for the World Cup? Are more people coming forward and recognising the work that you've been doing?
Yeah, I think that's a funny one. On the island, I think the postponement of the World Cup had a negative impact in terms of our momentum, to be honest. I think that really affected us. Definitely the best thing to come out of being in this World Cup would be to get a pitch. I'm not sure it's going to happen right now in the way that we want, because like I said, I just want to pitch for ourselves, not shared, not leased or anything like that. But one good thing is that we have signed a recent memorandum of understanding with the University of the West Indies. So now we have like a dedicated pitch where the national team can train. So we're given 3 days out of every week for the year, and we just have to help them to maintain that facility. So that's definitely a big positive. But like I said, the ultimate dream is a mini stadium, rugby pitch, and we see Rugby League Jamaica put up in big signage. It's ours. So yeah, but we take what we get, and we take what we can, and we just keep building. And this is our first World Cup. Hopefully, it won't be our last. And we just have to keep building that momentum and trying to improve not only the sport on the island, but keep banging the drum and letting people know about rugby league and how well the team is doing, the potential of the team. That's our job. So we just have to keep doing that, and then the rewards will come, whether today or tomorrow.
To ensure that you do play in another World Cup, get into the quarterfinals this time, we'll get you a ticket to France in 2025. Is that a realistic aim, do you think?
Yeah, I think it's a realistic aim. Our first objective was always to qualify for a World Cup. When we qualified, we asked ourselves, what is our goal? Being in the World Cup. And as sports people, you don't compete unless you're competing to win. So obviously, I know the boys are going to go out there and give their 100% and try to put their best performance in to try and get the result that they need. It's a tough group. Obviously, Ireland is very strong. Not a lot of part-time players in that camp. No amateur players, like we have 5. Lebanon, very good team as well. Very good NRL players who are sprinkled in with other players. Obviously, New Zealand, no need to comment on New Zealand. They're New Zealand, world number 1 team. We see what they did to lead Rhinos a few days ago. So a tough group. But my hope is that once the players put the effort in, anything can happen. New Zealand and Scotland was 30 all the last World Cup. I'm not sure many people expected that result. So once you go on the field, it's 13 versus 30. If you give it your best shot, anything can happen. So I'm still hoping that we can progress from the group. But at the end of the day, the key thing for me is putting in a strong effort, strong performance, and making ourselves proud.
I hadn't realised we've spoken to so many people on Monday, which means we've still got more to come. And that will be in the second part of this podcast coming out later this week. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share this content with all of your friends. You can find us on social media at Forty20 Live if you want to send us any comments. Reviews are welcome on Apple Podcasts and whatever. I've no idea what to do on these things because I'm kind of like begging for praise. But if you want to put a downvote in, that's fine as well. We'll be live in Newcastle at the Central Library on Friday night. You can find details on our Twitter feed at Forty20 Live. And we'll be back with another almost daily World Cup podcast very, very soon indeed.